guys! Today I have a lot of plant care things I want to get done. I need to repot my very large and in charge sport variegated Monstera. I have a Monstera esqueleto that I think I'm going to restart with. It's just a little bit gangly and kind of out of control, even though the leaves on this thing are marvelous. A few more repots I need to do. I guess towards the end I'm gonna do a little bit of a purge. It's only a couple of plants. I'm not really getting rid of them today, but yeah, we'll get to that. I'll see what else I get up to. I could also clean my IKEA cabinet. Possibilities are really endless here. There's a lot of plants to take care of, so let's just get into it. Actually, I started the video here because I want to show you. I moved a plant back into my bedroom. This Monstera deliciosa. Isn't it pretty? And it has put out a new leaf. Oh, I love, it's so gorgeous. So gorgeous. I love you. I love you. Let's go. Starting here, literally I cleaned my bathroom yesterday. I don't know how this happens. Children, man, children, they're talented little fellas. Anyway, this is the Monstera sport in question. As you can see, it is now leaning. I totally knew that this was gonna happen and it was gonna get too top heavy. I mean, this planter is so much smaller than the plant. I just held out hope that it was gonna work out, but it's not. I mean, I've kind of have it propped up pretty good now, but you can see the planter is quite a bit smaller than the plant. Not a lot of surface to hold the plant in place. So I'm gonna up pot it from this to this. Quite the size upgrade. I think this is gonna solve a lot of my problems right now, so I'm excited to have it done. Supplies. Got my soil bin, a towel to suck up the extra water out of the saucer because my youngest child decided to water the plant yesterday, even though it didn't need to be watered. So now we've got a full saucer of water, which is actually a pie dish. We've got a pie dish of water here. I'm gonna suck up a little bit of the extra to hopefully minimize spillage. I guess it doesn't really matter. I could just clean the bathroom floor after this. Okay. I suppose I need to unpot it. There we go. That went a lot smoother than I anticipated. Dump this down the drain. Wow, this root is just so perfectly wrapped around the bottom of this planter. We got a lot of root spillage from that drainage hole. Yeah, I've been needing to do this. The thing with plants when they get bigger like this, repots become much more of a full body workout. Oh gosh. And this is going to be extremely difficult to get out of here. Oh my gosh. Okay, that wasn't so bad. What is... It's the plant. No! Wow, this root ball is so cool. I love to see a tightly wound root ball. There's something so satisfying about it to me. I love it. Like I could just stick a fork in it and eat it like spaghetti. Seriously. Well, not seriously, but I'm gonna try and like break up the roots just a little bit, especially around the bottom here. Gonna kind of dig my claws into it. It's okay if some of the roots break. It's just the way it goes with root bound repots like this. Wow. This plant is about to take off, I feel, next year. Once it's a little acclimated post repot, this is gonna take off like big time. I can feel it. Okay, it's loosened. And we gotta fill this up. Now back. Another issue I was kind of having in the other pot is these ginormous aerial roots, because they've just been crawling all over the bathroom floor. I mean, I could chop them back, but no, I want this plant to have as much aerial root as possible to really soak up water and nutrients and help stabilize it here in the pot. So I do like to just put the aerial roots in the pot for a little extra stability. Like, I'm gonna try and keep them toward this back side to help stabilize things. Now to fill. Wow, I feel so relieved already. That actually was not as bad as I thought. Those aerial roots were definitely an issue for a minute there because it was hard to clean the floor, vacuum or wipe down the floor super casually and quickly, because I had to be very careful about lifting and moving the roots, and then the plant would topple over. It's just gonna be such a relief to not have to deal with that anymore and be able to wipe down the floors with ease whenever I want to. Usually when I'm repotting a plant, let me bring it in closer. Let's see if I can do this without. Usually when I'm repotting a plant, I don't love to pot them so deep into the pot that any of the leaves are under or below the substrate level. In this case, I'm going to, because honestly, if a few of these smaller leaves decide to yellow up and die off, I'm totally okay with that. I kind of like when there's a little bit of bareness at the bottom of the plant and then it's bushy at the top. So I'm actually kind of hoping that will happen. I'm just gonna let it happen on its own instead of removing the leaves myself. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just let the plant do what it needs to do for itself. It's a mature plant. It knows what it's doing. Tap the pot to help fill any air gaps. Kind of scared of smashing my toesies there. I think that's the last bit of substrate here. Awesome. Maybe one more actually. We're repotted. I'm not gonna water it yet until I clean up my mess, because the thing about when plants grow, they get heavy. Oh no, no. Put the leaf there until I water it. I'm gonna sprinkle in some mosquito bits. A little bit of Osmocote. Why is that the most Christmassy sounding jingle bell ever? And of course, water it with Arizona iced tea. Just kidding, it is liquid earth. Last thing, need to wipe my paw prints off of here. It is still kind of leaning, so I have this dowel. It's a couple feet long. I'm gonna temporarily put in here to help support it. And I'm gonna attach it with some bonsai wire to hold everything in place. All right, there we are. So much better. It still takes up a lot of space in this bathroom, but wow. Wow. While we're here, I'm gonna address this Monstera alba, which is fine. It's totally fine. I do just wanna show you one of my tricks for Monstera aerial roots when I'm not repotting a plant. So yeah, I've got my really long aerial root here. It's fine right now, it just kind of sits in the saucer. It'll absorb water that fills into the saucer. I'm doing this more for stability purposes. I've got an aerial root growing into the soil here. I want to do the same here. Where it's quite the long aerial root, I need to get it a little more manageable to really push down the soil. So the trick is to cut a couple inches below the substrate line, which is like right here. So I'm gonna cut it. Actually, I'll do it a little longer than I think. Yeah, a little longer than I think. And I'm gonna push that down into the substrate so that as it grows, it will help provide stability to the side of the plant. And yeah, that's the trick. That's it. Next, this Monstera siltepecana. If you watched this video where I attempted a moss pole to see if I would like it or not, spoiler, I don't like moss poles. Monstera siltepecana has been living on here since I potted it, so it's kind of cool to see the progress from then to now in this plant, and I love that. I love that I persevered. I kept trying, I didn't give up, but you know, there comes a point where maybe it's okay to give up. I've met my point. I think I'm gonna chop and prop most of this plant, start over with it so that I can not have it potted with a moss. I swear I just saw a mealybug, a male mealybug flying through the air. Where'd it go? Maybe I made it up. Anyway, I'm gonna take care of this. I've got a vessel of water. I've got scissors. And I guess I'm just gonna cut these loose vines wherever I can. I can't believe how much this plant grew since I did that video. I don't even remember how long ago it was. Being able to look back on my plants is just one of the best things about making videos. I will say that. Oh look, I can pull this one out of here too. Will this one come out easy? Sure, why not? We're almost there. I'm gonna separate these all by individual node, pop them in water. I do still very much love a propagation bin, but I have been getting back to starting things more in water. We'll deal with this later. Now we've got all these vines. I am gonna go ahead and cut these up into individual nodes. When I'm starting cuttings in water like this, I do prefer to keep a leaf on them. I don't know why, just for the water propagation, it just makes the process so much more smooth. I normally don't try to stress myself too much about that kind of thing. Okay, should I just go ahead and rapid fire cut these up? Yeah. This one is already a pretty good little plant. I'm just gonna pull off these bottom few leaves and put this whole thing in the water. This will make a nice little plant sometime. Back to the chopping. Last one. That is so many cuttings. I love starting fresh with a plant like this. If I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by any given plant, which this plant didn't really overwhelm me, I just haven't really loved it, I think because of the moss pull. So I'm excited to get this fresh start, get a whole bunch of awesome little propagations out of this that will probably be ready like next summer. I do really like the look of this plant. I love a Monstera. That's what leads me to believe that maybe my qualms with this plant are more moss pole related. I'm just not a moss pole girl. Y'all have to let me know where you stand on the moss pole opinion. Do you use moss poles? Do you like moss poles? Am I doing something wrong and maybe that's why I don't like moss poles? I don't know, we just don't really seem to jive As much as I wished we could jive, we just do not. Me and the moss pole. And it could totally be just a, like this plant in particular type issue because it grew really fast. So then it outgrew the moss pole really quickly. It just kind of twirled and whirled all the way around. So no matter what way I like rotated my plant every so often, it just always looked kind of like bald, no matter what direction I was looking at it from. I don't know, I just couldn't get it right. But these leaves are very healthy. They're starting to definitely get pretty big. So I am anticipating some cute little propagations from these. I just love the pattern of a Monstera siltepecana leaf. They're so cute and the shape is so cute. I think I maybe will want to try to grow this as like a longer, like trailing plant, maybe on my IKEA cabinet or something like that. I don't know. I do have some time before I need to make any rash decisions about what I'm gonna do with this. I am going to get a plant care break. I no longer have to stress or deal with this moss pole. I still get the like pretty much same amount of plant, but I only have to worry really about keeping this water bowl filled. And once I feel ready, I can let them root for a really long time in the water, or I can move them into their own like substrate containers once the first signs of root really pop. And it makes it very low pressure, low timeline, deadline type situation. And I just don't function very well with a deadline. I just go wherever my heart takes me. So that is what I plan to do with this plant. We will see. We will see. I'm sure at some point you and I will revisit this plant when I am ready to pot these little cuttings up or anything like that. Okay, voila, I love it. It's like cut flowers, but better because it grows. I still get to appreciate a beautiful vase and beautiful plant, but this is gonna be so low maintenance, low pressure. This feels good. I'm gonna go put it, let's go put it back where it's gonna live. I think I'm gonna keep this with the rest of my restart plants here. Like I said, I'm getting very much back into the simplicity of water propagation. I really have been loving water propagation again, and I've been restarting plants here and there as things outgrow the space I have in my home for it. Even though I have very drastically downsized my collection, it still feels like it's kind of taking up as much space because the plants I have kept have really popped off and grown. I am kind of facing much of the same problem even though I have downsized, and my solution is water propagation. It's just so easy and simple. Like I just kind of stopped doing it for a second there, but I love it. I love it. I love watching the roots grow. Always have, always will. So I guess I'll show you what I have water propagating. Philodendron splendid, golden pothos, a whole bunch of cebu blue. I even have some more cebu blue propagating in water upstairs. I just love cebu blue. My plant has really taken off. I love propagating it. I love spreading it around. They propagate great in water. I also have Syngonium ribbon here, this plant, which I restarted in my last plant care vlog. This one, if you missed it. But yeah. Oh wow, look. You see that root there? Things are starting to root already. And of course, our siltepecana. And more golden pothos up here. I'm propagating a lot of golden pothos because I want to put one at the top of my cabinet in my kitchen. So yeah, that's why I have so many golden pothos propagating right now, but very happy to be back with the water propagation thing. Moral of that story. Now to deal with this monstrosity. Got a bin to catch the moss. I'm gonna try and free the entire moss pole, or at least see what I have going on here. I can't remember if I put any zip ties. Yeah, I did. I do have some zip ties in here that I'm gonna try and release. Yes, I'm gonna hate on moss poles a little bit more. I'm so sorry. To each their own. If you love moss poles, that is great. Like, I'm amazed because I absolutely hated the maintenance they require. I don't see myself ever revisiting the moss pole thing, to be honest. Like, not only do I not enjoy the maintenance of it or the way it looks or anything like that, I did not even enjoy making this. And I'm somebody that likes to make stuff and do things like that, but this just was not the craft that I enjoyed. I think I was pretty excited about the moss pole aspect in the video, so I didn't dwell enough on how much I hated the process of making this, but cutting this wire was such a pain in the butt. It ripped my hands to shreds, tore my hands to shreds. I hated it. I hated it. If you ever see me considering a moss pole again, just know something's going on. I've been body swapped. The moss pole thing uses so much moss, it can be hard to keep it wet. And I know people were like, oh, but you can like add this plastic thing onto it to help hold in moisture, or you can wrap it in saran wrap, help hold it in moisture. But I think that's ugly. I can appreciate how well how huge, how really monstrous plants can get on a moss pole. Like, the people who are committed to moss poles, I'm seriously so impressed with. They take some serious dedication, and I just do not have that dedication. I'm gonna throw the rest of this away because the bottom part of this is absolutely like so rooted, and I don't want this much root system in my sphagnum moss mixed into my sphagnum moss because that could easily cause root rot. So I'm gonna go toss this. Back to my very crowded plant room. I have a repot. I want to do this Schlumbergera Thanksgiving cactus. Okay. Oh, I just watered this and there is... everything's watered. You can see it is very chipped and mangled looking. I've been meaning to get this repotted for a long time, but this is one of my more tolerant plants, so I've kind of put it off and put it off. But anyway, this is a metal planter, and I don't know if that's the best thing for a plant, although my plant is doing just fine, so maybe there's something to the metal planter thing. But anyway, I do think it's getting pretty root bound in there. There's a lot of damage and yeah, wrinkling, cracking in this planter. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna move it to this. No drainage hole, but it's ceramic. I think that'll look really nice, really nice. Now that I'm getting to this, I'm realizing that a reason I have definitely been putting this off is I don't want to break the plant. I feel like this plant seems fragile to me. We're good. I was worrying over nothing. I do tend to do that. I have been known to do that. Why is there so much root growth at the top, but not so much at the bottom? Did I rot it out at the bottom maybe? I don't know, but the roots are a lot thicker up here. Huh, that's weird. Gotta zhuzh up the bottom of this, of course. These roots are very fine. Looks good. I think it looks pretty good. I'm gonna kind of break up these around the edges too, just for ease of backfilling once I get it into this fresh pot. Hopefully this will still bloom. This is a late fall, early winter bloomer. I hope that even though I'm repotting it now, it'll still bloom. Okay, moment of truth, if this is gonna fit in here and if I'm gonna be able to backfill it. Oh yeah. Okay, you know what? It's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but I think I can make this work. I'm just definitely gonna have to vacuum after. Uh-oh, I keep snapping some of the bracts. I don't think I've snapped anything off yet, but I have been breaking some of the like tips. Gotta be careful, carefuler. Oh no, I should have knocked on wood because now I'm breaking everything. Shit. It's okay, we're okay. I think the plant's okay. I should just use my hand. Then I have more control, yeah. I think I maybe should have put a little more soil at the bottom of the pot because it does seem like it's sinking down quite a bit and I'm having to really do a lot of backfill in here. I would really like for the bottom of the plant to start corking so it could be a little bit stronger, but so far that hasn't really happened yet. But like with my jade that also kind of corks at the bottom, turns like wood-like. Oh my gosh, did I just do that? Dang it. It is a lot stronger now that it has corked. I want that to happen to this. Maybe I should have thinned out the branches. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna pop this branch back in. But the rest of these I'm going to propagate into a little plant. Cup, handful of sphagnum. I think these hair-like roots really appreciate sphagnum moss, so hopefully it'll propagate okay in here. Yeah, it's gonna be a nice little plant one day. A long, long, long time from now. I've learned so much patience as a result of keeping plants, like so much. I might be the most patient woman in the world. Okay, that's not true. But I've come a long way. Here's the plant. I'm just gonna set it on this tray here. Let it grow. Dang it, I should have gotten out a potting mat. I don't know what I was thinking. It was definitely wishful thinking that I thought that wasn't gonna be messy. Boy, was I wrong. It looks great. I love it. I think it looks so nice in this planter. Okay, I'm gonna put it back. Cute. Love it. Aw, I also hope it gets a little longer. I feel like I've made so much progress in here lately. I've been trying to figure out how I can configure this room to like really optimize the space so that I can keep all my plants, but have space to like do stuff. I'm not gonna do it today, but I think there might be a reconfigure my plant room with me video coming up. I'm feeling it. Inspiration just hit. Oh, and we cannot forget about, what are you doing, my big boy? Yes, you're the best old man, huh? Okay, let's go. Next stuff is in the office. Another one that is very apparent to me, how even though my collection has been seriously downsized, it still just takes up as much space because things grow. They size up, they take up a hell of a lot more space. I'm just at the point I need to say goodbye to a couple more plants in here. As I've been taking care of things and coming in and out of rooms, I've been paying attention. I've been thinking, what plants look unwell? Which of my plants look unwell? Who are my main strugglers? And in this room, it's between this begonia and my Syngonium albo. I'm not quite ready to say goodbye to the Syngonium albo yet, but I do think I'm pretty ready to say goodbye to this one. A part of me really, really loves this plant because this plant tells our story. Okay, yes, we've struggled, hence the bareness of the stems and the legginess and reachiness. We keep persevering and new growth does happen. It gets discolored and dies off equally as quickly as it happens. I'm to the point in my purging that it's very hard to make these decisions. In the beginning, it was like, yeah, that plant is basically dead. I'm gonna put it out of its misery, but now this plant isn't almost dead. We've been trying for a really long time. Ugh, it hurts. So to help numb that pain, I'm gonna take some cuttings, pop them in water, then I can just leave them and they're either going to die or they're going to take off and I can try again. Could go either way. Somehow this just really helps me stomach the thought of officially getting rid of a bigger plant. Even if the plant ends up dying, it just makes it a little bit of a slower, easier to process. Anyone else? I will be keeping this bamboo skewer, of course. I'm just gonna stick this here for now because this is our next thing. Our next thing is right here. Oh, cute. A little whisk fern popped up. I love these things. I think they're so cool. I'm very tempted to keep it, but I'm trying to minimize, not add. So I'm gonna refrain, I'm gonna resist. And maybe down the line when I feel more ready, another hitchhiker plant will pop up out of nothing for me. Here's hoping. It's not you, it's not me, it's just the timing of things. Ew. Same for you, begonia, I'm so sorry. Stop looking at me. Back to the cuttings over here. Got a vase full of water. Take off the bottom leaf, pop them in. Yes, I feel good. For a second there, I was kind of hurting, but I almost forgot about my top cuts. I'm fine now. But I am gonna put this on that same shelf in the other room. Now to address this situation, Jose Bueno, Monstera Thai Constellation. These are two examples of plants that size up very easily and can really like take over a space. I think I wanna separate them, which is a big reason I decided to get rid of that last begonia. So one of them can sit right here. I think I want the taller plant sitting here just for a better eye line of the plants when I walk in. I don't know, in my head it just makes sense that the taller one is right there, but then I guess it kind of blocks the light a little. I don't know, we'll see. I'm just gonna move this over here. See what I mean? This leaf is just so reachy. The sucker needs so much light, which is fine. Like, it's so beautiful, but it needs a lot of light. It wants as much light as possible. So I'm hoping that by moving it here, it'll be far enough away from the window that it'll maybe start reaching toward the grow light this way instead of this way. We shall see, fingers crossed. Honestly, I'm not gonna do it today, but I think at some point I might end up just cutting this leaf. Oh my gosh, am I gonna do it today? No, I'm not doing it today. I'm not gonna rush and do it. I'm not gonna rush and do it just because y'all are here. I need to take my time and think about it before I make any decisions of this magnitude. Just too pretty of a leaf to rush into things. Yeah, I don't know. I guess my other plants are just gonna have to sit like this for a minute. Maybe I want a shelf up here. Well, then where will that go? A lot of the plants in this room are very large. We've got not just those two, but all of these floor plants here. There's nothing smaller than a 10-inch sitting down there. I think I'm gonna have to start root trimming instead of up potting because I just cannot keep up with the increasing pot sizes. There's also this big Monstera esqueleto here, which I think is the next thing I want to accomplish. This is a plant I really love. The leaves are magnificent. It's so beautiful, but when I took mine out of the grow tent, I had to rip the aerial roots off the wall of the tent and it collapsed. Of course, it collapsed. It's starting to put out a lot of growth again. I think I'm gonna separate this and make it so that it's only like 2 or maybe 3 stems max. And I'm gonna trellis it up some of these bamboo stakes. See what I mean? It's just a wily, powerful plant. And I respect it, I do. I respect the plant so much. It has gotten a little bit outside of my control and I am sick of it. I'm sick of being out of control. Okay, so I'm just gonna take top cuts like this. This is how small the plant is that we're gonna be starting out with. Also this one. Cute. I would like to find maybe one more. You know what, actually, I think I'm gonna cut this one here so that I can have 2 big leaves. The growth point has activated. It wants to grow. For the rest of this, I am going to propagate it. So I'm gonna cut all the long stems off. Set them aside. I hate propagating really thick stems like this, but I'm gonna do it. Even if I get just a few of these chunker ones, I'll be happy. It's worth a shot, right? Why not? Okay. All right. Oh yeah. It's kind of a lot of, wow, look at that. Cool. shake loose whatever substrate I can. I'm not gonna repot it back into this because obviously this is huge compared to the cuttings. I gotta go find something else. This is still huge for fresh cuttings, but I think it'll work. I think it'll be just fine. Fill it up. Actually, maybe a little, just a little bit more. I want it to be pretty compact in here so that my cuttings stay in place. Oh yeah, okay. And now I'm gonna, first actually, I'm gonna skewer. Pop it there, I guess. And now for my cuttings, I'm gonna position them around the skewer. I'm gonna try and tie them a little because they're just kind of flopping everywhere, which is not surprising. They don't have roots. They're very top heavy at the moment. I don't even know. I hope putting 3 stems in here was the right decision. Oh no, did I just cut the plant? No, I didn't. I hope that putting 3 stems in here is the move because it might not be the move. But I figure as these things root, I'll have some time where I can kind of play around with them. But this is a good first step for me. I feel good about this. A great starting point for getting a very statement-esque plant here. Next, we've got some propagation to do. You already know the drill. I'm chopping. This one's pretty chunky. I don't know if I have the grip strength. I do. Internode and leaves, toss. For Monstera esqueleto, I'm gonna take off the leaves. These leaves are just massive. So I wanna lose the leaves to conserve a little bit of space in my planty home because as you guys have heard today, space is a bit of an issue for me at this point. Unfortunately, I've got this bin of mostly dried sphagnum. It's like a little teeny tiny bit damp, but it's fine. I'm gonna stick all of my cuts in there. If there's an aerial root, I really wanna like jiggle the aerial root down into the moss. And if there's a growth point, I wanna point the growth point up. It's not that important, but I do think with propagating, it helps get a nicer looking plant quicker. The node doesn't have to like go searching all around to find which way is up to find the sunlight. Gonna lay them in there really nicely. Cool. Those are all the cuttings. I'm not gonna water this until tomorrow. Where these are such thick, chunky stems, I really want them to callus over before I introduce any extra moisture into this situation. The callus will just help protect it. And yeah, I don't know, like I hope that a bunch of these will root. I am expecting some casualties, but trust me, I would love to come back to you next spring and be like, guess what? All 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 cuttings, esqueleto cuttings we took last summer have grown. 23. I hope that happens. I hope that happens. Just gonna live there right in front of the esqueleto. I can keep pretty good tabs on them. Let me show you what that little corner looks like now. There is the plant now, a serious downsize. Serious downsize. I'm gonna flick on these lights. Oh yeah, that'll get plenty of light right there. And our props. So that's everything I wanted to get done today. Thank you for sticking with me through all of this plant destash, declutter, this journey I'm on. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it is just honestly where I'm at. And I want to be as honest about my process, failures, experience, all those things. So anyway, thank you. We're getting there. I'm feeling a lot better about where my collection is at these days, which makes me enjoy doing these little plant chores so much more. So much more. I no longer feel like it's all just spiraling. So exciting stuff. Happy to have ya. Happy to have you. I hope this was good times all around. I will see you next time. Bye. 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 I will see you next time.